Hello out there. We're on the air. Are we ever? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I got one of my favorite shirts on. I forgot about this shirt. I was looking in my closet for something to wear today and completely forgot I had the shirt. It is one of my all-time faves. It is the Notorious shirt. Notorious B.I.G. Oh, feeling good, feeling fine. Trying to convince myself that anyways. That's what you got to do, right? That's what we have to do. When we're not feeling great, we got to tell ourselves that we're feeling great. All right, let me update the zaps here. It is Fat Zap Friday. It is Fat Zap Friday. I completely forgot about that until this second. So you know what that means. We're going to start the show off with a banger here. We're going to start banging. What? Okay, let me bring this up. I'm going to show you how to find these songs. If you want to listen to Fat Zap Friday on any other day, you can do that. You get yourself a Wave-like account. I don't know if you need an account to listen to these songs or not, but it helps because then you can zap the songs. So let's go to basically what you do. You go to wavelake.com, WAVLAKE.com. You create an account. You click the little 3 bars there. You click catalog. You type in Bitcoin. And then the second one from the top shows up, Bitcoin Amigos. There we are. And then you can click any one of these songs. All of these songs are great. Oh, we got some zaps coming in here. Look at that. Last time I checked, I think we had it looks like somebody zapped 1,000 sats for each of the songs. So whoever did that, you're a legend in my eyes. Okay, let's play some Fat Zap Friday. Because you have to remember here, you might zap less on any other day, but today is Fat Zap Friday.
Zap's a king. Zap thing. Love. And the Bitcoin Amigos Friday stream. Energy high, it's like a dream. Music pumps the price higher. Chris, Jordan, Jerry inspired. It's Fat Zap Friday. You might zap less on any other day, but today is Fat Zap Friday. Yeah. Real fat zaps coming in hot, spreading the love, hitting the spot. Yeah. Fat Zap Friday. Yeah. Community loves to show their support, hype in the chat like it's a sport. Friday stream turned up to 10. Fat lightning strikes again and again. Fat Zap Friday. You might zap less on any other day, but today is Fat Zap Friday. Yeah.
Unbelievable tune. I love it. I love all of these songs. They're only available on Wavelake right now. We're in the process of putting some lyrics behind them. Just some lyric videos and stuff. So they'll be on YouTube eventually. They'll probably be on Spotify, but for now you can find them, what would you call it? Exclusively on wavelake.com. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. All right, let's check on the Zap stream. Speaking of Fat Zap Friday, looks like Duncan zapped 1,000 sats to start off Fat Zap Friday. Let's see where we have Arnie's walled again. So if you're in YouTube and you want to participate in the zaps, you can. Oh, we got some fatties already. We got Duncan's. We got Fat Zap Friday. 10,000 sats coming in. Oh, Arn, you hear that? And somebody sent 2,000 sats. Not somebody, Timber Crasher. Thanks, Jor, for another amazing week of hanging out with us Bitcoiners. Thank you, Timber Crasher. It is my pleasure. And thank you for the fat zap. 10,000 sats. And we got 69 people in here. What a time to be alive. Cleaner Machine, good morning. Jason, good to see you, brother. Let's fucking grow. Amen to that. Tom, good morning. Killer, bought the Friday dip. I hope you do. I hope you do. Crazy not to. Timber Crusher, good morning, Bitcoiners. Good morning, Journeyman. Good morning, Living in the Future. Good morning, 8 Satoshi members. 8 Satoshis is live officially today. No, last night. It's weird outside right now. Wish I could show you. Oh, wait, I can. Haven't showed this for a while. It's kind of pink. We got a pink sky today. I don't know if you can really tell or not. Kind of gloomy, kind of pink, kind of orangey. Kind of nice. Pretty nice. Ginger's in the chat. Good morning, Ginger. Brandon, sats are on sale. Get them while they're hot and ready. Yeah, they won't be this price for very long. We can be sure of that. It is Bitcoin Black Friday today. We didn't get any sales or discounts for the real Black Friday, so we're calling today the Bitcoin Black Friday. I was a little bit late today. I'm sorry for that because I had a coffee emergency. I guess I ran out of water, and I only had about that much coffee in my cup, so there was no way I was doing a Friday show without any coffee. I got my favorite mug too for today. And shout out to Bridge. I don't know if she's watching today or not. She's away from the homestead here. But anyways, there we go. Okay, we're good. This is her mug, not mine. I just show it on the air. Ryan, good morning. Bought the dip, running out of fiat. I feel you, my friend. I feel you. I mean, if you have any fiat kicking around, you're probably not doing this thing like you should, right? So, morning, Jay. Good morning, Eden. Jason. Duncan in both. Love to see that. Bull market's over, according to Alien. Sell everything, cash out, trade back into fiat. You heard it here first, Alien Johnson. Oh, I thought it was Rick that said Fat Zap Friday, but it was Eden. We got another zap here. Look at this. 1,500 sats coming in hot. Spreading the love, hitting the spot. Fat Zap Friday. Oh, it's going to be a good day today. Rick Costa's in the chat. Anytime Rick Costa's in the chat, it's going to be a good day. Look at that. What do we got? What? This is a horrible spread. I mean, I appreciate the zaps. They're the most important thing. But we have 73 people watching in here and 22 likes. Correction, 80 people watching in here, 22 likes. I think we can do significantly better than that. Significantly better than that. We got Kyle. Good morning, Kyle. Daddy Longlegs. I want to give a special shout out to Jerome Powell for making these Christmas special possible. Cheers, Jerome. James Bond's in the chat. Morning, Bond. Look at that, Bond. Everybody loves some Bond. Muslim Bitcoiner says, it's funny how people still bring up the fear of 21 million changing, mind-numbing. It is, isn't it? It's like you have to understand how that could possibly happen. How could 21 million increase? You have to start there. Ask yourself how. And it would have to be a protocol change. It would have to be decided on by Bitcoiners, by the people running nodes. And yes, all nodes are different. The ones with more volume have more influence. But think about it. Think about who would vote yes to increasing the supply of Bitcoin. And you vote with your node. It's not like you write in a ballot and send it to Satoshi. You vote with whatever software you're running, whichever protocol you're running. And who in that group who would vote for a supply increase? Because if the supply increased, the people who voted for that would be diluted. It makes no sense. It will never happen because it's not in anybody's best interest to do so who would be influencing that decision, right? So I think that it is an important part of Bitcoin for people to realize that there's no way that the supply will increase. Alien Johnson, our favorite bear for today. Bitcoin doesn't seem to be about spreading money or separating money and state anymore. Seems like it's about unifying the two. Yeah, I mean, I actually don't disagree with you there. I really don't. And you know what? Maybe we'll start with this right now because I had a video that I wanted to talk about. Just a quick one. But it basically touches on exactly what we're talking about here with Alien. So let's watch this. I think it's about 2 minutes long, maybe. Well, here Arnie may be thinking about coming over. No, changed his mind. Chickened out. All right, well, let's watch this. Two of our favorite fellows here, Matt Odell, Marty Bent, best Bitcoin timeline, which I completely agree with. All right, this view just got a whole lot better here, so I'll flip the camera around in a sec. Sorry, Odell, I don't want to leave you on that. All right, we got 88 people in here. This is a good sign. So this is Odell. This is talking about exactly what Alien Johnson just said here. Bitcoin doesn't seem to be about separating money and state anymore. It seems like it's about unifying the two. So let's listen to what Odell has to say about this in terms of using Bitcoin as freedom money.
In regards to the pep talk, I think Marty nailed it. I mean, it's really important that we're not complacent. But it's also important that I think people realize that we are in the best Bitcoin timeline. Like if you run through the different timelines we could have ran down, starting as little as 2 years ago, but especially if you go back like 5, 6, 8, 10 years, it's pretty hard to imagine us being in a better situation than we are in right now. So appreciate that, but don't get complacent. We got to keep pushing forward. And then 2 other pieces here. I mean, I think if it's important for you that Bitcoin is used as freedom money, you should simply use it as freedom money. The tools are available to you today. It's as simple as that. Use the thing. My biggest worry is Bitcoin will be massively successful, which is my expectation right now. But the overwhelming majority of people will not be using it as freedom money. I would like peg it at like 5% or less will use it as freedom money. The cool part is anyone can, and hopefully we blow through that number. But I would say our number one focus should be trying to increase that bottom line number, the amount of people using it as freedom money rather than controlled, surveilled money that is still protects you from debasement, but doesn't really protect you from anything else. And how do we do that? We do that with better tools. We do that with better education. I think that should be the main focus for the ride or dies, increasing that bottom line number of the number of people that are using it as freedom money.
And that is what we try to do here week in and week out, is provide you with the education, the knowledge about the tools that is going to help lift up that.
Pretty jealous he's drinking a beer, not going to lie. For the people who have watched the show here when we're drinking beer, it is quite a bit funner than when we're drinking coffee. But no, he's absolutely right. And I think that this is one thing that I've tried my best to focus on. It's very similar to Odell. I hate sounding like a broken record day in and day out, but it is incredibly important. The most important thing we need to be focused on right now is using Bitcoin as it was designed to be used. Peer-to-peer electronic cash, separating money from state. That's why Bitcoin was designed. And we are kind of in the process. It was bound to happen, though. It was bound to happen where governments, big corporations, and the biggest money in the world is coming after Bitcoin. But as we've been talking about all week on the show, we still hold the majority of this Bitcoin. Between individuals and lost coins, I think we have about 75% of the Bitcoin right now. So it's up to us. They can't print more to debase ours. They can't come to our house and take our Bitcoin if we do it right. But it's up to us. We are going to be tempted to sell this Bitcoin in the very near future. It's going to run up to 1 million. Some people will sell. It's going to run up to 10 million. More people will sell. And they're just going to keep running it up because they have no other option than to get you to sell your Bitcoin. And so it's important that we keep the Bitcoin, but it's just as important that we start using these tools that are available, tools like Zapstream, which we're on right now. And I mean, for a while on this show, we had more people watching on Zapstream than we did in YouTube. And right now we have 85 people watching in YouTube and 3 people watching on Zapstream. And Odell said 5% of people are using Bitcoin as freedom money. And I'm not saying the people on YouTube aren't using it as freedom money, but I just think that that's a perfect indication. 3 out of 90 is about 5%, which is exactly what he said. So just, you know, I'm not going to sit up here and preach about anything, but I do think that everybody here should pay a little less attention to the price of Bitcoin and more attention to actually using these tools that are available to us right now, like Zapstream, like Nostr, like Wavelake that we just started the show with here. It's important. It's very important. So that's shout out to Alien there for pointing that out after a very bearish comment, but it's a good segment there. I think it's incredibly important. And I do see the number rising in Zapstream right now. So thank you for that. And I want to show you again. I know this is the second time showing it, but it is beautiful here this morning. Hard to beat that. Hard to beat that. Oh, you don't want to look down there. Perverts. Okay. So what's going on? What's going on? I guess we're crashing by the looks of it. It appears that way anyways. Let's see. What are we at for price right now? Yeah, 95,000. All right. Well, I'm going to talk about it. Hopefully, if we have time today, we're going to do the most important. I think it's going to be the most important living in the future show that we've ever done today. I've said that a few times in the past, but I do think that it is today. We're going to be talking about security. We're going to be talking about privacy. We're going to be talking about passwords, storing your private keys. And when I first got into Bitcoin, is in terms of like consulting and helping people, a lot of that time was spent like helping people buy Bitcoin, like, you know, how to set up an exchange, how to send the money, how to send that Bitcoin to your wallet. But I think we're way beyond that. And the majority of people here probably have a significant amount of Bitcoin in their name and in their house and in their will or estate. And what we're going to talk about today is a couple different layers of it, but I want to share something that is going to be a pretty big deal in the future here for this show and for the community here. Hey, Spaceman zapped 121 sats and said, yay, 5%er here. Shout out to both Duncan and Spaceman for the zaps this morning. And shout out to the people who are watching this on Zapstream today. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. All right. Robert says, woke up, checked the Bitcoin price, saw it had dipped, shrugged, yawned, back to a peaceful sleep. That's kind of how I felt too last night and this morning. Like I was 0% affected emotionally by what's happening right now. Actually, I was excited, even though I don't have any fiat right now to buy Bitcoin. I just know that, because here's the other thing too. Here's what you have to keep in mind. And this is how I've been looking at this whole thing is like, if you're working, right? I'm sure most people here work. Myself, if I do a consultation with somebody, or if I earn some money from Zapstream, or if I earn some money from Patreon or whatever that is, the lower the price of Bitcoin, the more sats I can get for that. Right. And I'm in absolutely no position or desire to be selling any sort of Bitcoin right now. You know, the 98% or 95% of my Bitcoin stack. So like days like this are awesome, because whatever you're working for, whatever value you're bringing to the world, you're getting more sats in return from that, whether you're earning Bitcoin or you're earning fiat and converting it to Bitcoin. Hello. You're getting more sats for it, which is the whole goal here that we want to accomplish, right? What's going on here? All right, I think you settled. Hopefully Bridge isn't watching the show today because her Christmas presents are back there. Okay. Well, I'm way behind in the chat here. I don't know if I'll ever catch up at this point, but we got Eden says this song is fire. That was Fat Zap Friday. I see a few more people joined us in Zap stream, so thank you for that. Somebody said cheers. I don't know who it is. It's just an NPub, but that's okay. You're anonymous that way. Jose, good morning. Dutchy, Discount Friday. Yes, Jacob. Sleeping. Is that where all this is coming from? BlackRock's video? What do you think? Mike says, what do you think of BlackRock's informational video referencing the fixed supply, stating there is no guarantee that Bitcoin's 21 million supply cap will not be changed? I was wondering why people were talking about that all of a sudden. But I mean, they're right. Like, there's no guarantee. But if you actually think through it, like, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. And, you know, some people might have the conspiracy that BlackRock's will be changing it someday or trying to put that out there and create some FUD. But like, think about what BlackRock has invested into Bitcoin for their clients. They need Bitcoin to succeed. They're never going to put Bitcoin at risk, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but like, it won't benefit them at all to do that. 7-9, good morning. Tire Doctor. Cheers. Kevin says, hello from Northern Michigan. Hello, Kevin. We are all 8 sats friends. We are all Bitcoin amigos. Robert says, at this point, I just see the Bitcoin price dips as the last struggles of the higher ups trying to suppress the price as much as they can. Yep, that's exactly right. And shout out to Zapstream once again. It looks like we have tripled the amount of viewers in there. So that's good news. That's good news. That is the goal here. We want to increase the percentage of people using Bitcoin as freedom money. Buck 52,000, one of our Bitcoin journeymen. Another day in the matrix. Well, for some. Lazy River, our newest Bitcoin journeyman. Good morning. Gary says, I love your action cures fear sign. How true? Yeah, it is. It's absolutely true. I don't know if you can really see it even, but it's there. I had another sign here, but we'll save it for another time. Fuck you, Alexi says, buy the dip. Yeah, agreed. Alexi can kick rocks. Zane says, take advantage. Who knows when we could ever see Bitcoin under 100K again? I think that once we get to January 20th, January 21st, because there's a lot of people who are still on the fence of whether or not this strategic Bitcoin reserve is going to go through. And the people who are on the fence are going to be left behind. The people who understand that this is going to be happening. That's when it's going to change. I think that January 2024 was a huge fork in the road in terms of the Wall Street being able to buy Bitcoin. And January 2025 is going to be a sharper fork for society, not just for Bitcoiners, but yeah, get what you can before then. Kevin says, anyone else in here just investing in crypto on Robinhood? I'm new to this whole thing, so I'm not familiar with the other storages. Kevin, I would say 2 things to you, my friend. 2 things. And I don't know if you're still here or not, but 2 things I would say is if you are just getting into Bitcoin, Robinhood is fine. It is. Like, I'm never going to buy on Robinhood. I doubt that Zane will be buying on Robinhood. I doubt that Buck 52,000 will be buying on Robinhood. But it is a safe way to buy Bitcoin. It really is. I mean, there's a chance that you could get rugged, but I'd say the chances are very, very low. So, and you can actually withdraw your Bitcoin from Robinhood as well, which you couldn't always do, but you can. So that's the first thing I would say is just keep buying on Robinhood. If that's easy for you, if it, if there's no friction there, then just keep doing that. Once you get to a sizable amount though, let's say you get to 5 million sats or 10 million sats, that's when I would start looking for either a different wallet or, sorry, let me start that again. Once you get to a couple million sats, let's say 1 million or 2 million sats, that's when you want to start looking for a wallet. And you can download a bunch on your phone. You can use the Speed wallet. You can use, what's another good wallet even that people use on their Moon wallet? I like Moon wallet, even though it's a little bit different from the standard wallets, but I like Moon wallet. It's very safe. And then once you get to 5 or 10 million sats, that's when you start looking at a hardware device. And then you go from there. So you just kind of invest as you keep learning in Bitcoin. But the second thing that I'm going to say here, and I think that this is going to be very beneficial for certain people in this community here, because you have to keep in mind that there's people who watch the show who are more knowledgeable than me in Bitcoin. And there's people who watch the show who just got into Bitcoin a couple months ago. So everybody's at a different stage in their Bitcoin journey here, right? And we have to keep that in mind. And so what I'm going to be doing for 2025 is I'm going to do a beginner's, not a course. It is a course, I guess, but it's a year-long course. It's going to be 365 days of Bitcoin. And I started making the videos already. It's going to start day one, what you need to do to buy, to set up wallets. And then it's just going to gradually go on to where you need to be after 1 year. Because I don't believe that anybody can learn Bitcoin after watching 2-hour video or taking a week-long course or going to a one-day workshop. It takes a lot of time. And so this course is going to be 365 days of Bitcoin. I'm going to share one video per day, and it's going to be in order of your knowledge. And it's going to include a little community where you can chat back and forth with other people who are at your stage, help each other. And it's also going to include a 1 per week live chat with me, private live chat with me. So you can stop by if you have any questions that come up through the week along your Bitcoin journey. I'm going to be there to answer them. So I think that there's going to be a ton of people who get a lot of value from that. And it's going to be, I'm going to share it on the Patreon probably next week sometime. So keep an eye out for that, Kevin, and anybody else who's just getting into Bitcoin right now. So it's basically going to be for two types of people. The first one is going to be for people who are brand new to Bitcoin, where you can basically start and go in order of everything that you need to know within Bitcoin. And it's going to be for people who are somewhat intermediate. Maybe you just bought Bitcoin early 2024, mid 2024, and you just want to watch something to make sure that you don't have any holes in your knowledge or your security setup. Plus a lot of other things along the way. Like this isn't just going to be a whole bunch of technical stuff. It's going to get you thinking completely different about money, Bitcoin, and everything that goes along with that. BitBilly just smash grabbed another 5 million sats for Black Friday discount. Wow. BitBilly, love that. Good for you. Good for you. I see a couple more sats came in here. I got 121 from Spaceman and somebody sent in 24 sats. Thank you. Spaceman says, trying to jump into Bitcoin at full 100% levels like drinking from a dam. Exactly. Is like drinking from a dam discharge chute. You must go slow or else you will get buried in crap you don't know the first thing about. It sucks, but it takes honest time and learning. Exactly. And I was going to do like a 1 or 2 week course for beginners, but I'm like, you know what? This takes a lot of time to really understand. And so I'm going to do one video every day. The videos are going to be quick. They're going to be like 5 or 10 minutes long. You can watch it anytime during the day, at night, in the morning. And from where you start to where you finish is going to be completely different lives after watching that, after going through that course. So it is. It's part of Bitcoin. It's having a very low time preference. And I think that education should be no different. Mike says, couldn't Sailor and BlackRock have the majority of nodes in the future when there's less individual miners running theirs? Maybe, but I don't think there's going to be less individuals mining. I think there's going to be a lot more individual mining. And Sailor and BlackRock have no interest in changing Bitcoin. Like, they want Bitcoin to succeed, right? We need to understand that they need Bitcoin to succeed. Otherwise, their whole strategy's out the window. Fixed supply is what makes Bitcoin so great. Agreed. It's the scarcity aspect of it. We've never had an asset comparable to Bitcoin before in human history. Gold was the closest thing we had to it. And Bitcoin is already more scarce after only 15 years. Decaball, the only attack from traditional fiat monetary regime. Yeah, and they'll eventually run out of bullets, right? They'll eventually run out of bullets, and I think they're getting to that point now. Jason says, afternoon show with beers. Yeah, we're doing that today. Bitcoin Amigos, 4 p.m. Eastern time today with Jerry Loves Freedom and Chris from Fractal Bitcoin and myself. And I'll be on the beers. You best believe I'll be on the beers today. Hey, Morrow. I recognize Morrow. He's usually the afternoon watcher. So Morrow and others every day, and there might be some confusion around this as well within the community here, but I do this show every day live at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And I've recently started doing a replay of the show. So I just repost it at like 4 p.m. Eastern time every day. And I'm usually just working here, so I'm in the chat. So it's a good way, even though I'm not live, I try to join in the chat. And if there's any questions in there, I answer them. And Morrow is one of the guys who's usually in the afternoon show. So shout out to Morrow. Tomorrow and today. Connor says, where do we sign up for your quarterly check-in thingy? You can go to the Patreon here. Let me bring it up. We got a bunch of different tiers now, which is good. So it's nice. People like options. People should have options. So let me bring this up here for you. Where's the memberships? So if you go to, first thing you need to do is just go to the show notes here within the video. I post all the ways to get a hold of me, all the referral links, all the links that are relevant for you. They're all in the show notes here. And so within that, it says join Living in the Future, and you can click that Patreon link there. And with that, you can join as an Orange Heart member, which is basically just a support tier. So it doesn't really come with anything. It's just if you want to give some value back to the channel here. You can join Living the Future, which is the most popular one. That's what we talk about every day here, Living the Future. You can join as Bitcoin Journeyman +++, which includes the Bitcoin Journey course. There's like 21 videos you can watch in there about learning about Bitcoin. So that it's included in that. Plus you get all the Living the Future. You get Signal Chat, Discord, and whatever else. The private shows, second part of the shows we do. There's the 8 Satoshis. This is the brand new venture that was just released last night. And the only description there is if you know, you know. But it's true. Like I didn't feel like typing it all out. I've talked about it several times to the community there. So that's 8 Satoshis. And then the orange seal here. These are the two for people who want a little bit more attention. So the orange seal is a quarterly. You get all the stuff I've already talked about. You get the Signal Chat, the Discord, the private shows, and you get a quarterly check-in with me. So we can review your Bitcoin strategy. We can review your Bitcoin security setup. We can discuss inheritance. We can discuss UTXO management, Lightning wallets, all that stuff. Whatever you have on your mind, you can ask. So that's once per quarter. And keep in mind here, I'm very flexible, right? Very flexible. So if it's, if we're working on something and we need to do back-to-back days or back-to-back weeks, it's not going to be like the first of every month quarterly, right? And it's the same for the next tier here, very important Bitcoiners. And this is the next stage of that. It includes everything, just like the other ones, but it has a monthly meeting. So that includes a monthly check-in with me. And I think that this is what I would suggest. If you have half a Bitcoin, I'd say anything above half a Bitcoin. And if you're a little bit unsure of if you're doing things right, I would sign up for one of those two tiers. just to make sure that there's no holes in your setup. If you have any questions, it's a very good way to do it. It's just a one-on-one call. It could be an hour, hour and a half, whatever it is. Like, I'm very flexible with this stuff, right? So if anybody's interested in that, you can join using the link down there. If you just click that join the living the future, it should take you to this setup here. All right, Raven, good morning. James Bond says, I'm on Zapstream now, but don't know if you see. The only thing I'd see is if you leave a comment in there, but you have to have a name as well. The Grincher, also known as the Grinder, says, wishing you, your better half, and Arnie a happy holiday. Thank you, Grinder. Also known as the Grincher now. He's got a little Santa's hat on. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And somebody sent in 1,000 sats as well, saying, for Arnster and the rescue dogs from Lucky the Dog and Duchess. Thank you. When's going to be our... Oh, it was Morrow that sent the 24 sats in. Thank you, Morrow. When's going to be our Christmas show here? Maybe maybe Christmas Eve? 23rd or 24th, that's going to be our Christmas show here. I'm going to do one more show before Christmas. Separate X says, if someone is going through a divorce and he wants to send me Bitcoin or USDT, can he do it without fear over his divorce? Bitcoin's going to change the whole landscape of like inheritance stuff. We're already kind of going through that right now. And that's actually a big part of what I'm going to talk about on part 2 today, is the inheritance side of things, which I think that there's probably less than 1% of Bitcoiners out there who actually have a solid inheritance plan in place, which is very, very scary. We looked at all the lost coins that are estimated so far. I really think that over these next 5 years, that's going to double. I really think that, because everybody is so focused on buying Bitcoin, on securing it properly, but they forget that like they could die any day. And I think that most people watching this chat today, if they died today, their Bitcoin would be gone because their family would have no idea what to do with it. No idea where it is, no idea how to access it, none of that. So inheritance stuff and divorce is going to throw a whole wrench into the divorce thing. So, I mean, I'm not going to comment on that. I have no comment myself on that. But I mean, you could probably flush out a little bit of Bitcoin in a private way, but I'm not going to suggest it. I'm not going to comment on it. That's up to you. Sorry. Grincher says, people said I look angry with the hat, so I've changed the display name. I like it. I like it. Raven says, the crazy part is when Bitcoin drops 5%, it causes panic. When S&P drops 5%, no one cares. It's really weird. Well, I mean, you have a lot of people with a vested interest in Bitcoin failing. And so anytime they have any sort of ammunition, they just run with it. We've seen a lot of it over the last couple of weeks. We've seen the quantum bullshit. We've seen the increasing the supply bullshit. It's just nonstop. They're always, the only thing they can do, they can't stop Bitcoin. So the only thing that they can do is spread FUD, spread bullshit. John Johnson. Hello from BC. Hello. Good morning. Kyle LeBlanc says, my node shall not change. Yeah, that's a big part of this whole thing, right? Look at this. Psychologist says, I put proceeds from sale of our house into Bitcoin in July and sold half on Monday at 107K and half at 108K for my down payment on the new house. The rest of Bitcoin is safe in cold storage forever. Wow. Wow. I mean, if you talk about, like, if you've been paying attention at all for the last couple of years, you knew that this whole thing was coming. And things like that, if you were paying attention and if you were on the ball, like, you just created a whole new, like, think about how long people take to save for a down payment. Most people will never get there in fiat, never. especially Gen Z. They're never going to be able to buy a house if they're saving in fiat. But like, it was very obvious. I mean, I don't mean to take away anything from psychologists. Like, that's brilliant. But like, it was so obvious that this whole thing was going to play out like it did this year. And so if you had any sort of pulse on what's going on here, I mean, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Good for you. Cleaner machine. I'm pulling the trigger on my first Bitcoin purchase, but I'm a bit nervous. I've got a separate email address for this process, just confirming Bitcoin well Jor with a Sparrow wallet. Yeah, I mean, that's a really good way to start. I mean, it's pretty foolproof. All you have to do is get a Bitcoin well account. You download Sparrow from sparrowwallet.com and you install it and you set up a new wallet in there. You write down your 12 words and then you just go to receive. And you copy that address, you add it into Bitcoin well, and then you press buy. You send them some money. And as soon as they receive that money, they will send Bitcoin to your address. I wouldn't say it's easy to, or I wouldn't say it's, bulletproof, but it's pretty hard to mess that up, right? So good luck. You also mentioned Bull Bitcoin. What's your favorite exchange? I do like Bull Bitcoin, but I only use Bitcoin Well. I think that Bitcoin Well is a far superior platform overall. Both are great. Like Bull Bitcoin, Francis from Bull Bitcoin, amazing guy, amazing mission that they're on. I would never say anything bad about Bull Bitcoin. I just find Bitcoin Well very, very easy to use. There's a lot more that you can do on the platform there, and they're building. They're focused on their platform. I feel like Bull Bitcoin is focused on expanding around the globe right now. Bull Bitcoin is focused on their platform. So if you're in Canada, for sure, you should have a Bitcoin Well account, and you can use, let me bring it up here, my little banner. So it's so simple. You just go to bitcoinwell.com/Jor. Could not be any easier than that. And you're just going to have to put in your driver's license. You're going to have to maybe take a selfie. I don't know. But so easy to do. All right, we got another fat zap here. It's Fat Zap Friday. You might zap less on any other day, but today it's Fat Zap.
Inspire. It's Fat Zap Friday. Zap's a king. Zap thing. And the Bitcoin Amigos Friday stream. Energy high, it's like a dream. Music pumps the price higher. Chris, Jordan, Jerry inspire. It's Fat Zap Friday. You might zap less on any other day, but today is Fat Zap Friday. Yeah. Real fat zaps coming in hot, spreading the love, hitting the spot. Yeah. Fat Zap Friday. Yeah. Community loves to show their support, hype in the chat like it's a sport. Friday stream turned up to 10. Fat lightning strikes again and again. Fat Zap Friday. You might zap less on any other day, but today is Fat Zap Friday. Yeah.
It simply does not get any better than that. All right, well, let's use that as a transition here to this next video. You may have seen this, but it's worth watching again. Oh. I mean, just look at that shit-eating grin on Michael Saylor's face. Watch this clip.
You've been relatively less vocal than some of your peers in the crypto community about your political views. And I have to ask, have you met with President-elect Donald Trump?
I've met with a lot of people in the incoming administration, but I couldn't comment further than that.
Okay, can't comment further than that. I was going to ask you about plans, but instead I'll ask you about whether or not you would be willing to serve in the Trump administration in any capacity. Bloomberg has reported that there potentially could be a crypto advisory council. Is that something that you might be interested in?
You know, I'm always willing to provide, you know, thoughts on constructive digital assets policy, either in confidence or publicly. And if I'm asked to serve on some sort of digital assets advisory council, I'm probably would do so, yes.
You've been relatively less vocal.
I mean, I just talked about the fact that, you know, if you were paying attention at all, if you have the ability to use common sense and logic, you could have seen what was coming here when we went from what, 40,000 earlier this year to 108,000. Like, it's not like it came out of nowhere, right? And I think that this exact same thing is going to happen with the U.S. Strategic Reserve. It's like people are humming and hawing on whether or not this thing is going to happen. Like, it's going to happen. And, you know, if you understand the implications of the most influential country on this planet buying Bitcoin, what kind of signal does that send to every other country, every company on earth, every state, every province, every city, every town, every municipality? Like, understand the implications of what is going to happen in 1 month from now. You have to. And I mean, did you see how he was smiling there? Like, he knows stuff right now. There's a lot of people who know stuff right now. And if you're going to lean on the side of skepticism and say, I'm going to wait until January or February or March for Bitcoin price to crash, and then I'm going to buy some, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. And imagine Saylor, you know, you can tell by his body language that he has met with Trump before. Eric Trump has said numerous times now that the Trumps have known Michael Saylor for 20 years. Like, if you're really that naive to think that these two people have never discussed anything before, I don't know what to tell you. And again, if you believe that Michael Saylor and Donald Trump have never talked Bitcoin before, then I have some oceanfront property to sell you in Arizona, as King George Strait would say. All right, what do we have here? I might catch up here. Who knows? Who knows? You know what, BitBilly? I agree with this. I wouldn't say that, you know, if you have a bunch of Bitcoin, you shouldn't be holding it on Exodus, but I use Exodus myself. I think it is a great wallet. I really do. I don't think they've had any issues. They've been around for a very long time. But you should go under the assumption, because Exodus also holds shit coins, right? Altcoins or casino coins, whatever you want to call them. And I would say if you have over 1 million sats, you shouldn't be putting it on a wallet that has other cryptos in there. So if you're just getting into it, Exodus is fine. It's very easy to use. It's very easy to navigate. It's safe, secure. But once you get past 1 million sats, I would look into something else. And I would, you know, just look into it yourself. Bitcoin requires proof of work. Grinder said, she's hot. Who's the dude? Oh, and sorry, Bodhi. I forgot to finish your comment here. Bodhi Zapped 2100 Sat said, when I'm on mobile and have to listen from my phone, my Brave browser has a hang up with Zapstream in my wallet. Yeah. I mean, it's part of the whole thing right now, right? Like, if we look a couple years out and people keep using nostr and Zapstream, and it's going to get better. But when it gets better, the opportunity is going to be gone. When Bitcoin becomes easy, the opportunity is gone. All right. Hey, Kyle, bought the Jade kit yesterday. Very excited. Nice. Nice. We got some Jade love in the chat. Zane says, Joe, I'm interested in building a Bitcoin node for a fun project in 2025. Maybe we should do a video to set that up. I mean, Zane, yeah, there's this is what I'm hoping for with the 8 Satoshis. And if you're in Living the Future right now, you have a pretty good understanding of what's being built in the 8 Satoshis venture. But this is the kind of stuff that I want to see. Like, Zane, if you're going to be doing that, make sure you document the whole thing. And there could be 5 different videos within the 8 Satoshis library. There could be 5, there could be 10 people doing it. And everybody learns from different people, right? So I could set up a node, I could do a video, I could do a full documentation on it. You could do one. Daniel could do one. Craig could do one. And I mean, the more you watch, you're going to pick up on different things from different people. Because right now, I tried setting up my Start 9 from YouTube and stuff. There is zero information out there right now. So that's why I'm so excited about this community here and what we're building with 8 Satoshis, is that it's going to be a place where people can find everything they need to know about Bitcoin in there. Ju says, what do you think about Cold Card and Nunchuck on iPhone? I've never used Nunchuck. I've heard good things. But we have a much better, I shouldn't say better, but I think it's a much better solution than Nunchuck that we're offering right now through Bitcoin Citadel, which I'm going to be talking about on part 2. And I talked about it on yesterday's show as well. So if you want to go back and get some info on that. Nico says, are you going to cap the 8 Satoshis to a certain amount of members? No. The only cap is going to be whoever is a member before December 31st, 2024. So in 11 days from now, if you're not a member, then it's capped. So it's not a number of people, it's a date. That's the cutoff. Everybody, December 31st, 2024, I'm going to print out a list of all the members of that tier. And that's who's going to be part of this new venture. That's who's going to be the beneficiaries of this new venture. What if BlackRock is a huge Ponzi and is not buying Bitcoin? I mean, it's possible. It is possible. Zane, updated 8 Satoshis. My man, attaboy. I saw that there's been quite a few people joining that this morning. So you can actually see on the Patreon, you can see how many people have joined so far. And you might have to refresh the page, but I think there's like 15 people who've joined in the last 10 hours here. Quality first. Oh, look at this. We got an apology. We'll accept it. We'll forgive. Big part of life is forgiving people, right? Quality first says, Adrian, I would like to apologize for my statement towards you begging for sats. I understand the value of your knowledge and time contributing to the show. My bad. Yeah, I appreciate that. It takes a man to say sorry. So I appreciate that. Duncan, don't tell the wife. What are we keeping from the wives? What are we keeping from the wives? It must be behind here a little bit. Grinder says, I'd zap that comment if he was on Zapstream. Yeah, agreed. The cool thing, you know, if you just zoom out a little bit here, if you think about where this whole thing is going to in the future, like it really doesn't make any sense. The fact that you can share a video on YouTube, you can share a podcast on Spotify, you can make a post on Instagram, you can share a note on Nostr. It doesn't make sense that all of those are in different spots. Like it doesn't make sense that it's not all tied together. And that's what Nostr is going to bring to us. It's going to connect all of these different platforms, social platforms. Everything that we do is going to be connected by Nostr. So if you leave a comment on a video in YouTube, let's say, that same comment will show up on Twitter, or that same comment will show up in Amethyst or on Facebook. Like that's how it should be. And that's what Nostr is. That's like Nostr is like the new internet protocol that's going to connect everybody. And it just makes sense because everybody's online now. Everybody wants to feel that social connection through where we are here. And, you know, unfortunately, Grinder can't zap a comment from YouTube, but he should be able to. And he will be able to. We just got to give it some time here. There's some good comments in here today. Yeah, agreed. BlackRock is correct. There aren't any guarantees that it won't change. But there are no incentives to change it. Correct. All right, Morrow, take it easy, man. Take it easy. You don't need the caps. I saw your comment here. Take your time. If you want me to see your comment fast, send a super chat. But don't be spamming the chat here. Or go on Zapstream and zap a comment over there. Yeah, this is a big part of it too. Like we have to face the fears of if in investing. Trust your conviction, trust yourself. This is where true wealth comes from. And the more time you spend in Bitcoin, the more knowledge you accrue in Bitcoin, the more conviction you have in Bitcoin. I dare you to find a Bitcoiner who spent more than 100 hours in Bitcoin and changed his mind or her mind. But that's it, him or her. But it's true. And it's very easy to be super paranoid and question everything. And I get that. But you know what? I'm betting on a functioning society here because we've been around for hundreds of thousands of millions of years. And somehow we've got to this point. So we're going to figure this thing out eventually. So always bet on humans figuring it out. Always bet on humans going to the most efficient way to do things. That is Bitcoin. That is nostr. And so it's going to happen. It takes some time. Oh, we got a good comment here from Spaceman. I'm going to zap Spaceman for this. I did see this, but it's still worth talking about here. I don't know if I can zap you or not, though, because I stopped using Alby for now. Yep, I can. These sats are from Arnie for Spaceman. 69 sats, my friend. So Spaceman says your Start9 has a web page with very good documentation. And yes, that is absolutely true. If you're somebody who learns well from like manuals and reading, I don't. But if that's all you have, it's a pretty good place to start. But I prefer to watch somebody. I prefer to listen to somebody. I prefer to see things or hear where I'm supposed to be in the process. And so reading works great for people. There's that, again, I did see that documentation there. It's like a user guide for Start9. I just learned better from visual stuff. Wow, look at this. Speaking from many years of experience investing, 30 years. Bought my first Bitcoin at 300 and still have all of them. Wow. Bit Billy. Swinging the dick around today. Love to see that. Okay. We got a couple more things to talk about here. Matt says, damn, congrats, Bit Billy. Send me one Bitcoin, I will send you two. Oh, shit. What else do we have here? Kyle says, I got the titanium stamp plate. It's literally like a fun little project. It'll be really fun. Yeah, it is fun. I'm going to talk about, though, I mean, if you're somebody like me who has a steel plate or a titanium plate, that's great. Like, that's far superior to paper, like having it on a note or having it in the safe or whatever that is. It's far superior to that. But what I'm going to talk about today on the second part of the show is something that's better than titanium. And so if you do have, again, more than half a Bitcoin, a couple Bitcoin, you're probably going to want to watch this show today. And that's what I'll say. And I do not mind if you do this. I really don't. If you have over half a Bitcoin, just sign up for Living in the Future, do the 7-day free trial. You can go watch the second part of the show today and just listen to what I have to say. If you don't like it, just cancel it. If I have no issues with that. But there is something better than titanium in a lot of different ways, and it's what we're going to talk about today. Anything else? Holy man, I'm way behind here. All right. Where do we go from here? Because we're already at an hour. I got a second part of the show today. All right. What's this comment here? B21 North ROP. Isn't Bitcoin Cash like Litecoin, which itself was created after the founder of Google saw Bitcoin magic internet money on Silk Road and wanted to create a better, cheaper version of it? I don't know. Bitcoin Cash, dog shit. If you have any Bitcoin Cash, traded for Bitcoin yesterday. Yes. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I wanted to talk about today. I thought of this last night in the shower and I completely forgot to write it down anywhere. But Duchess says, I think that some people interpreted Powell's comments yesterday as there would be no strategic reserve. But the Fed has no say in that. The strategic Bitcoin reserve would be under the Treasury. Yes. And this is something that I've been talking about on this channel. If you've been watching this show every day for a while now, you know that I've been saying this for a long time. I said that Trump was going to be a Bitcoiner before anybody even thought that that was possible. I posted something last January talking about how Trump is a Bitcoiner. And I also said that my prediction for what's going to happen here, the US dollar isn't going to collapse. The US dollar, I think, is going to actually become stronger. And the reason why is it's not going to be a fiat dollar anymore. So whatever the fiat dollar have, whatever money the US government owes to the central banking system in the tune of $36 trillion, that's going to be gonzo. That's going to be a completely different currency. I think that Trump is going to buy Bitcoin, hold it in the Treasury. The Treasury is going to issue a new US dollar backed by Bitcoin. So you're going to have the US dollar, the fiat dollar as we know it today, dog shit, completely illusionary, can be printed out of nothing, backed by nothing. And then you're going to have a new version of the US dollar that's issued by the Treasury, not the Federal Reserve, the Treasury. And so that US dollar is going to be backed by energy, Bitcoin being one of those things. I don't know if there's any people who can back me there, but I've been saying that on the show for quite a while now. And it's absolutely true. The Federal Reserve will not hold Bitcoin. Which is huge. Huge news that nobody is seeing or talking about right now. All right, what do we got here? We got Luke. Zapped 69 sats. The recent crash in price just shows people still don't understand it and are purely buying as speculation. Once you get it, you don't unget it. Truth. And then the grinder says crash. Yeah, isn't that true? Like if you think back a couple months ago, we were like getting frustrated with the fact that we were stuck at 58K. And last week we were 2x that, right? So, I mean, we've crashed from that a little bit, but like I completely agree with what Odell was saying there. Like this is the best possible timeline for Bitcoin right now. Things could not be better. Regardless of whatever the price does today, tomorrow, next week, things could not be better in Bitcoin right now. Muslim Bitcoiner says, sad to see the new passport now supports shitcoins on their new device. I did not see that. But that is troublesome. That is worrisome for sure. Andrew says, just set up my Start 9 and download a Bitcoin course. Southern Bitcoiner has a tutorial that helped me out a lot. I was watching that as well, but he was using the Embassy. I think it's very similar to the Pure, but I think that it was the Embassy that he was using, unless I missed a video there. Boss, I like round numbers. How do I manage UTXOs and end up with a round number? Do I have to overstack to cover fees and then get rid of the remaining sats? No. No. Just go to, I mean, first of all, I wouldn't focus on trying to get round numbers as UTXOs. That doesn't make any sense. But I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's a different story. But all you'd have to do is just like take whatever you have. Make sure you're using Sparrow Wallet to do this. But like you can, I don't really want to talk about this too much on the show here. I did a full episode on UTXOs within the multi-generational wealth course, which you get in all the tiers for the Patreon. But I went through an example of how to consolidate UTXOs, and that's pretty much what you have to do. You'll have to choose which ones you want to send and consolidate. And you can just say, you know, I'm going to send from my wallet to another wallet, another address within this wallet. I'm going to send 1 million sats, and it'll automatically pull from the most efficient UTXO in there. Or you can customize whichever ones you want to use. But sorry, that's not really a question for the normal show here. All right, what else do we have here, folks? Drew says, how many sats have you made from apps? Quite a bit. And the shitty thing is that they keep drying up. They keep reducing their rewards, and it's only going to keep going down too. Holy man, I'm almost caught up here. I'm almost caught up here. Charlie says, memorize your seed phrase with mnemonics. I mean, that's a good idea, but never, ever, ever, ever rely on that. Like, don't ever just store it in your head. That's the stupidest thing you could ever do. Memorize it just in case. But like, if you're leaving your private key up here and up here only, you're in a lot of trouble. Unless you're fine with your Bitcoin going back to the network and you don't have anybody to give it to. But it's a good idea, but don't rely on that solely. BitBilly says, Jor, you're the man and really appreciate your content. I really need a private session on nostr. Can't figure it out to save my life. Yeah, I mean, this is what I would say to you, BitBilly, and I kind of mentioned this yesterday as well. But like, if anybody wants to set up like a call with me for something like this, whether it's for nostr, whether it's for a cold card, Jade, UTXO management, Bitcoin strategy, inheritance stuff, whatever it is, you can set up a call. You go to my website, you can set up a call using Calendly, and there's a set rate on there. And Living in the Future members all get 50% off of my rates, which is a pretty big deal. That's why there's been quite a few people who have joined Living in the Future for that reason and stuck around after, because it's fucking awesome. But so you get 50% off. But the other thing you can do is just shoot me an email. And if you don't want to join, if you don't want to set up a full hour, whatever, shoot me an email and just say, I need help with this. Maybe it's one specific thing. And then we can just set up a call. And you can just send me whatever you received in value for that, whether it's 50,000 sats, 100,000 sats, 1 million sats. Like that's how I want to start doing things more of. So BitBilly, that applies to you and anybody else out there who just, if you got a couple questions, you don't really need a full hour. Just set up a time and let me know what you want to discuss. And then I'm not going to charge you anything. You can just send me whatever you think you got in terms of value. That's the value for value model at work. Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap up the show here right away because we need to do the second part today. I'm seeing a lot of different comments on here. I'm not really following the conversation though, so I'm not ignoring you. I think you guys are talking back and forth. Oh yes, this is what I want to talk about today. Fuck. Oh yeah, I'm going to save this for another day, but this is absolutely right. And somebody called me out on this yesterday in the comments or a couple days ago. They said, You need to be more humble. There's a lot of people out there who can't afford one Bitcoin, because I was talking about how rare it is for somebody to own a Bitcoin. And I never said I have a Bitcoin. I would never say if I have a Bitcoin or not, but I don't. But even if I did, I would never tell anybody that I have it. That's the number one rule on Bitcoin, is never tell anybody how much Bitcoin you have. Nobody. But they're like, you need to be more humble. There's a lot of people out there can't afford one Bitcoin. Yeah, no fucking shit. Most millionaires can't afford one Bitcoin right now. So I'm not bragging that I have. I'm just saying it's incredibly rare for somebody today to have one Bitcoin. And I think it's going to be even more rare in 10 years from now that somebody has one Bitcoin. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because you don't need to focus on trying to get one Bitcoin. That should not be anybody's focus or goal. It should just be getting as many sats as you possibly can. And so the thing I was going to talk about today, and I'll just briefly mention this because I think it is applicable right now. But if you think about this, think about becoming a millionaire in the fiat system. With your current life, your current job, your current situation, think about how long it would take you to become a millionaire. Let's say your salary is $100,000, which is much higher than most people's. So if you just purely took in income and had zero expenses, that would be 10 years to do that, to get to $1 million at $100K salary. Then you factor in tax. That's just one expense that everybody has to pay. And for people with a salary getting a tax slip every year, that's coming off before it even touches your bank account. So then it goes to, let's say, 15 years to become a millionaire. But that's if you have no other costs. You have no mortgage, you have no car payment, you don't eat anything. You don't have living in the future membership. So let's say maybe 25 years. If you were starting today and you wanted to become a millionaire based on working a job, it would take you 25 years. So what I wanted to talk about and what I'm so fascinated and obsessed over right now is that if you take $1 in the US right now, $1. So fiat world, it's going to take you 25 years to get to 1 million, probably best case. But if you're in the US and you take $1 right now, that will get you, hold on here. Sorry, I should have had this info already. 1,030 sats. In other words, you can be, if you share the same theory as me that one day one sat is going to be equal to $1, it might take 10 years, it might take 20, 25. Let's say it takes 25 years. But if you're saving in Bitcoin, you're going to be able to speed that process up by 1,030%. Right? So when you're going through your days and you're like, okay, if you're still living in fiat, let's say that you maybe earn $200 per day. Best case probably, or 250, whatever it is. But if you switch it to be thinking in Bitcoin terms and you say, okay, I can listen to a podcast and I can get 50 sats. I can take a survey on ZBD and I can get 20 sats. I can listen to a song on Wavelake and make 50 sats. I can make a nice post on Nostr and maybe earn 500 sats or 1,000 sats. And you can see how Bitcoin basically speeds up your ability to become a millionaire by 1,000 times right now. And that's why when the price goes down, it's actually a blessing for anybody who's trying to save in Bitcoin, because you can take your time and your energy or your fiat and convert that into Bitcoin for much more. So if you want to become a millionaire, the only way that you're going to do it is in Bitcoin. And if you have a long enough time frame, it's 1,000 times easier to become a millionaire right now. And in a couple months from now, it's probably going to be cut to 500 times easier. But that's not the point. The point is you should treat every sat like $1, and you should go through each day trying to get as many sats as you can, just like you do with dollars. Genius, right? Genius. Think differently. Think differently. UJ5 tuned in to 88 Sats Radio with 88 people watching. Nice. All right. What else do we got here? Harmonious. Hey, Jor, what's up, man? Thanks for your time. Say hi to my brother, Jose, and tell him to get some Bitcoin. Jose, well, you know what? Harmonious, just show him the last 5 minutes that I spent talking about here. Jose, you are never going to be rich in fiat. You are never going to afford a house in fiat. You might not even afford a car if you're saving in fiat. But if you start saving your Bitcoin, if you start converting your time, your energy, and fiat into Bitcoin, you're going to get there 1,000 times faster. And to me, that's a no-brainer. So that applies to Jose, that applies to everybody watching this, and that especially applies to the Gen Z folks out there who don't feel like they have a chance at this thing, but they do. You just have to look at things differently, and you have to store your time, energy, and value in Bitcoin instead of fiat. That's it. Very simple. But you have to remember that the easy part is buying Bitcoin. The hard part is keeping it and storing it. BitBilly says, I'm filling out that call form, George. Is it a phone call or a Zoom? It's up to you. When you set up, you can find a link to my Calendly. It's like you can just book a call in there anytime with me. It's been pretty hot lately, but I mean, when you set up your call, you can choose if you want a phone call or a Zoom. It's up to you. And so whatever you choose, that's how I either call you or I just click join. Very easy. Knox Bill, good morning, my friend. All right, well, let's, here's what we're going to do. A couple different things here. I got a couple more things to talk about. And then we're going to start making a move to the other part of the show. So if you've been here, if you're interested in anything I've said during the show, just join the Living in the Future. You can join a free 7-day free trial. You can watch some videos on there. You can see if it makes sense for you. And then you can cancel it. It's literally zero risk. And we're going to be talking about, I would say, the most important thing that I've discussed in my 1-year history here today on part 2. Grincher says, Grinder says, first goal as a stacker, become debt-free. Second goal, exit the consumerism madness and stop buying, financing shit you do not need. Third, keep stacking and you'll never look back. Great advice from the Grincher. That deserves a zap. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Sometimes I forget I'm on fucking live YouTube. There you go, Grincher. Also known as Grinder. All right. So a couple more things here. What do we want to talk about here? Yes, look at this. Misunderstood. I'm Gen Z and I now believe it's possible to get rich. Bitcoin is the only hope for people right now. The only hope for people. Gen Z, retired people, people my age, 30, 40, 50, every demographic, Bitcoin gives you hope. It's the only hope you can find in the world right now. Did you get that zap? Fucking Grincher. Did you get it? It's not showing up on my thing. Anyways, okay, so what I'm going to talk about here quickly is I'm going to do a little Christmas contest. So we're going to do one more show before Christmas. And I'm going to give away 8,888 sats to some lucky person out there. But it's not going to be easy. Nothing is here. You should never just get 8,000 sats ever. So there's a little bit of twist to it, and there are some people who have already entered this contest. I saw about 4 people on there. But this is going to take a little bit of work. Bitcoin has proof of work. That's its whole it's all based around proof of work. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go to Fountain. All right. So if you don't have Fountain, that's the first step for you. you go to fountain.fm, or you just download it in your app store, Google Store, whatever it is. Just type in Fountain and you just get set up on there. You create a profile and you can listen to podcasts on there. You can earn free sats. That's what I was talking about. If you get in a mindset of earning sats versus dollars, Fountain is one of the best places you can go to. So this ties in very well with this. So if you just go to fountain.fm on your browser, you can scan the little QR code there. It is, and then it'll take you to download the app. So fountain.fm, and you can scan this QR code. It'll take you to your app store, download it. You set up a profile, and then you go to, you search the Bitcoin Journey, which is me. And you'll see here, Daily Bitcoin Journey shows up, 88 Sats Radio. Click it. And then you can see the new podcast on here, which is called Project Potential. And so I want you to listen. You don't have to listen to it, but I encourage you to listen to it. But listen to this episode called the Bitcoin Piggy Bank. And you can see here, we got some people have entered already. So you listen to the show or don't, but either way, you have to send in a boost. So figure out a way to do this. You have to fund your wallet. You can send any amount. I think 100 sats is the minimum, but go send a boost over on Fountain. I really want to get this podcast and this specific episode in front of more people. And it's awesome when people zap this show and zap Arnie's wallet, but this is a good way to help get more traction on the podcast. So anybody who sends a boost in between now and the last episode before Christmas is going to be entered into this draw for 8,888 sats. Somebody's going to win it on Monday or Tuesday, whenever we do our last show. So just figure it out. I know there's a lot of people who are already on Fountain, already familiar with it. So this is going to be a cakewalk for you. But you just have to send in a boost. That's going to be your entry into the contest here. So I'm probably going to lose some sats on this, but that's not the point. I want to get more traction. I want to get more people familiar with Fountain and hopefully get this out there. Because I really think that this is basically about setting up different Bitcoin funds to replace your medical insurance, to replace your life insurance, to replace your dog insurance fund, to replace your new roof fund. Instead of the traditional ways that we're all used to, listen to this and start implementing into your setup here. So I talked about the different funds and I talked about the best and most efficient way to start setting up those funds. So that's the contest. And again, you can see here that people have zapped 3,900 sats so far, and the giveaway is 8,000 sats. So I'm going to be in the hole here probably. But I just want people to start using Fountain. I want everybody to listen to this podcast and to try to figure out how to send a boost, because these are the tools that we were talking about when I started the show today. These are the tools that we need to be utilizing here. We want to be in the 5% using Bitcoin as freedom money, and we want to continue to grow that percentage over time here. So that is the Christmas giveaway on the 88 Sats radio. Some lucky person is going to win 8,000 sats next week. Okay. And that's about it for today, I think. Zemo says every 4-year cycle you hodl through will move you up one level in Maslow's hierarchy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I don't like this comment here. I'm waiting for 80K before I throw another bag in after Christmas. No. Take whatever happened today and consider it a blessing. I mean, maybe Bitcoin dips to 80K in the new year. Maybe. I would say that the odds of that happening are very, very unlikely, but it could happen. But it could also go to 800,000 after Christmas. It could. Who's to say it won't? Everybody's so focused on like what has happened before, comparing other assets, comparing other markets. Bitcoin is unlike anything that we've ever seen before. The scarcity aspect could shoot this thing to $1 million before we can even say Bitcoin. So just don't wait. Like the best way to do that is anytime you have fiat, buy Bitcoin. That's it. You're never going to get left behind that way. Somebody in Zapstream says, what's the name of the podcast? So the name of the podcast is called Project Potential. It talks about Bitcoin, business ideas, stuff like that. But you have to search Bitcoin Journey in there. So on Fountain, you just type in daily. You can type in daily Bitcoin Journey or Bitcoin Journey. But either way, it's going to pull you to the channel. And then you can watch it's episode 1 called Bitcoin Piggy Bank. Ooh. Brendan's in the chat. Hey, all. Looks like markets are finally digesting what bullshit Powell laid down Wednesday. Yeah, I kind of gave up on trying to figure that out. Grinder says, no, not maybe, not perhaps, ain't happening, not on my chart. So you heard it here first. Grinder says we won't be hitting 80K based on his technical analysis. All right, so I'm going to jump over there right now. I'm going to play a little bit of song here to make the transition. Our song from the Bitcoin Amigos soundtrack. And a reminder, if you're around today, if you want to listen to 3 guys talk about Bitcoin and drink some beers this afternoon, check out the Bitcoin Amigos. Show up, 4 p.m. Eastern time. The chat is always phenomenal in there. It might even be a better chat than this one, honestly, somehow. But if you go to YouTube, you just type in Bitcoin Amigos. Make sure you head over there and you subscribe and you show up today. Set your notifications to the Bitcoin Amigos. It's crazy that we only have 235 subscribers over there right now. I think between Jerry, myself, and Chris, we probably have over 13,000 combined. And there's only been 235 people who have subscribed and supported over there. So that is happening today, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And let's kick off the chat here. Let's be the first to chat. Oh, I got a wrench. Look at that. The Bangin' Friday show. Yes. Okay, so on that note, I want to play the Bangin' Friday show song. I don't know if it's my favorite song or not, but it's probably top 3. The Bitcoin Amigos Friday show. Bangin' Friday shows. All right, so I'm gonna transition here. We're gonna go to the second part of the show. And I hope everybody joins us here. Again, this is going to be, I think, the most important episode that I've ever done in terms of making sure that you have your Bitcoin in 20 years from now, and making sure that if something were to happen to you, whoever you care about, whoever you're leaving your Bitcoin to, is going to be able to access that without any sort of friction. So again, I don't mind if you join, if you just watch the video today and cancel, I don't give a shit. But if you have any significant amount of Bitcoin, I highly suggest you watch today's part 2. And big shout out to Duchess, not only for the zap today, but for another super chat. And Ali says, where's the second part of the show? So if you're one of the paid members living in the future, you should just be able to go to the Patreon feed and click the YouTube link in there. It's going to be the same video as this. It's just this one's going to stop and that one's going to keep going. So just go to the Patreon feed, click play. Click play. All right. So here's the Bitcoin Amigos soundtrack. And I hope everybody joins us over there today. But if not, I do just want to say thank you. And maybe I'll take this off for 1 second. I'll probably say this again next week, but just for the people who are here today. I say this a lot on the shows. Like, thank you. That's usually how I wrap up the show. But I really mean it. And not only for the people who have been sending in zaps, not only for the people who are in the chat every day, not only for the people who have supported through the channel here or the Patreon, but just everybody here. Truly. Thank you for being here. And thank you for going on this journey, this crazy fucking journey of Bitcoin, because it's not easy. And you know firsthand how difficult this whole thing has been. It can be a very lonely place. There's a lot of question marks. You question yourself a lot, but it's really helped me having this community here. And I think that there's a lot of people who can say the same. But I just want to say thank you for taking on this responsibility, because it's not easy. This is not an easy thing to go through. The fiat system, even though it's fucking slavery, it's easy. It's convenient for people. This is a whole nother story here. And so I very much applaud every single person in here now and watching the show later for what you're doing for yourself and for your family, because Bitcoin is not for the first name, it's for the last name. And I know that most people here, I can't speak for everybody here, but to have that sort of mindset, to be thinking past you, it's very commendable. So thank you for being here. I'm going to close out with the Bitcoin Amigos show, or Bitcoin Amigos Bangin' Friday show song. And then we're going to hop over to part 2. So hopefully we'll see people there. And if not, one more time, if you want to send, how can I take this off here? If you want to send some sats, I just see that somebody did, either here on nostr or on Zapstream, but you can send it to Arnie's wallet there. Oh, you know what? We didn't give away any Bitcoin. Oh yeah, we're going to give away some quick. Fuck it. I see some people left already, so they're going to, your odds have increased. Oh, what a good show today. And we're just getting started here for the Friday. All right, get your Lightning wallets out, Speed Wallet, Wallet of Satoshi, whatever it is you use for your Lightning wallet. Get it out, press send, and oh, whoa. Somebody's going to win some free Bitty today, courtesy of our friends at Bitcoin Well. And again, if you can't use the QR code, if you don't trust QR codes, but you still want to support the show here today, you can send it to Arnie's wallet here, Adopted Son 98 at Wallet of Satoshi. All right, we ready? Who wants to win some free Bitty to close the show out today? Ready? Set. Go. Come on, big one, big money, big money, big money. Bloody hell. Fucking Bitcoin Well jipping us. This is rigged. This is rigged. I mean, 500 sats. And if you listen to what I said 10 minutes ago, you just made $500. Whoever was the first person to scan that, you just made $500 in your journey to becoming a millionaire. So congratulations. Hey, Adam or Lori or both. Good morning. Stu says thanks. Thank you. And Roger, Roger, our favorite Roger, says thank you. No, thank you. Thank you for being here. Who's the fourth amigo? We got, what's his name? Barry. That's the co-host on Chris's show. And we got Arnie. That's our fourth and fifth amigos. Oh, it's the Grincher who's up to 121 sats. Thank you, my friend. All right, let's close out the show here. Once again, thank you to Bitcoin Well for sponsoring the show here, or not sponsoring the show, but giving some sats to the community here. I don't get anything for it, but the community does. So that's just as important to me. So if you're in Canada for sure, or in North America, and you want to join, you want to sign up for the best Bitcoin platform that exists, go to bitcoinwell.com/Jor. And we might, we can see Arnie's little nose there. We can see Arnie's little nose there. Hold on. Can you see it? Right there. Oh, he thought about coming by, but he bailed. Oh, here he is. Somebody sent in 2100 sats, says, get that start 9 node set up and take your Bitcoin self-sovereignty to the next level. Yes, I approve that. Arnie approves that message. And if you're looking for a start 9 and you want to save 5% off of that as well, you can use the code 88 sats. Save you about $60 US. All right, so thank you for whoever sent that fat zap, 2100 sats. Appreciate it. All right. Let's close out the show. We're going to move to part 2 with Bangin' Friday shows. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody else, and we'll see you on this part 2.
Friday, let's go. Friday, let's go. If you know, you know. The Amigos about to flow. Jerry legendary, Joe for the score. Chris never miss, got him begging for more. Banging Friday shows, Bitcoin Amigos. Banging Friday shows, Bitcoin Amigos. Oh yeah, feeling the love. Vibe fits like a glove. Friday, let's go. Friday, let's go. If you know, you know. The Amigos about to flow. Jerry legendary, Joe for the score. Chris never miss, got him begging for more. Banging Friday shows, Bitcoin Amigos. Banging Friday shows, Bitcoin Amigos. Oh yeah. Feeling the love. Vibe fits like a glove. Friday, let's go. Friday, let's go. If you know, you know. The Amigos about to flow. Jerry legendary, Joe for the score. Chris never miss, got him begging for more. Banging Friday shows, Bitcoin Amigos. Banging Friday shows, Bitcoin Amigos. Oh yes, oh yeah.